both my elbows down.
Do some poetry. So this is really nice. This is actually called Sincerity. I don't know if you guys have ever gone to a store or had someone passing you in the street and they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" And by the time you go to respond, they're like already down the street, or they really don't care. So this is actually hopefully going to inspire you guys to answer sincerely, because this is something that I didn't do. So it's called Sincerity. True story. I went to take a dive of chocolates, and immediately I was greeted with a smile. I approached the box, and a young lady wearing her black uniform and a ponytail said, "Hello, how are you?" I said, "I've been walking around crowded places like these with heavy knees, hoping that someone might stop and sincerely ask, because I tell them I was afraid. And I tell them in the center of that maze that I was in the center of a maze, but I had no idea how to get out, because I had no idea of what this maze was made. And that I feel like a coward among the brave. And though I speak of redemption with my pen, I don't know if it's me or them that's getting saved. And age is a spade that can easily be dealt in my hand, or that of my grandmother is but 21 years from my mother, and my mother is 19 years from me, and here I stand at 20, trying to figure out who I am, puzzled that they were both bringing in children at the age where I am. So stop the clock as my grandma around 60, and Mom, stop, drop the hair coloring box, graze for days, and I'm still shifting between selfishness and suspense, reminding myself daily that I stick it out in this mud puddle because I know they'll miss me. Meanwhile, on trial in the universal court sits all human beings that I have yet to master. Some I only partially know, and some I may never know before I go. You see, I've spent all my time on knowledge, but there are mountains that cannot be mounted without experience. And I think of books and what to call this book that is my life, and what page finds me at this age. I'm insecure. Intellectually, somewhere beyond 40, emotionally, somewhere below 14, and the world calls me beautiful. But I lack the buoyancy to know that when my heart sinks, it's coming back up. And I find myself desperately looking to the outside world so they may help me solve my quasi-philosophical equations, and they can't even recognize that I'm talking about numbers. Numbers like 38 in Baghdad, 47 in Lebanon, gone without even the slightest respect from journalists to give these people more than a sports recap overview. Those are people with brains and eyes and minds like your husbands, your fathers. It could have been your life, and I daily realize that it's not. It could have been mine. I played peaceful with pretty poetics, but I'm discouraged about how ugly we have become, spiritually seeking aesthetics. And I'm frustrated that there are things I know to be true, but I cannot say how, and annoyed by a subconscious that refuses to shut up about how people are BSing themselves, faking happiness, and repeating painful error over and over and over again. Because sometimes my insights are so right that they cut like a knife, and people are left sliced without the land on which to stand, or take my hand as I try over and over again to get them to see that compassion is not pity, and sitcoms are serial, and commercials are criminal. What subliminals or common colds to you are viral to me. And all four-directional winds descend and rip away my skin, beating me to buy now, buy down, shape up to fit in a skin that is a cadaver, and a crowd whose fashions are shrouds. Pulsing in my ears, a hypersexual culture that is too loud. And in these calamitous orgies, I see not one hand holding another in intimacy, or bending a knee to share a story, and all the talking, not one mouth with the slightest capacity for emotional vocabulary. Where am I? And where is humanity? And I journey home to be among my family. And when I return, I am discouraged because the TV's on. I come inside to get out, and all of them are plugged in. And once again, I feel powerless. Especially around my little sis, who's 7. And I'm bleeding because I cannot day she said, "Boys don't cry," and in the blink of an eye I saw her assimilation, her gender generalizations, the assassination of her wise, pivotal decisions upon tail sleeves and misconceptions, the acquiescence of the priceless wisdom she had since conception and wouldn't get back till her final days in hospitalization. And in thinking of her growth, I think of women, then men, and the precision of this pen and those who will listen, and how the work of a poet requires discipline, for the heart is so often stretched when you can see a human issue outside its immediate context. And I pray to Jehovah for strength and guidance, to know what to write, what to say, where to go, and the help to help this 20-year-old girl that feels both fatally weak and divinely powerful, and the patience to carry my solitude, and the virtues needed to not be rude when they say something senseless or contrived. And I thank him for the times I meet people who are true. You could have used this situation as a manipulative prompt for sincerity, when all you wanted to do was sell me as much of this ill-made fine chocolate owned by an American company, marketed as a European one, and made by more Chinese hands than you could stand. And she looked at me, breathless. The girl didn't know what to do. So I gave her the response she wanted, what they all wanted. I'm fine. Thank you.